Your name would really be Samuel. Lie down and go to sleep. Well, Samuel was just a boy, and he lived in the temple. He was a boy the same age as you guys are, because he went to the temple to live. His mother gave him to God, and he served God in the temple, even though he was a small boy. And one night, when he was sleeping, he heard a voice which said,
Samuel.
So he got up. And then he went over to Eli, who was the prophet. And he knocked on his door. Knocked on the door. Okay. And he said, Eli, you called me?
Eli, you called me?
And Eli said, I didn't call you.
I didn't call you.
Go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep.
So he went back to sleep. Okay? And then again, he was sleeping. He might be snoring a little bit, you know. He was sleeping, and then he heard a voice again which said,
Samuel.
And he got up again. And he went over to Eli's room, and again he knocked on the door. And he said, Eli, you called me.
Eli, you called me?
And Eli said, I didn't call you. Go back to sleep.
I didn't call you. Go back to sleep.
So he went back to sleep again. This is all that was in the first reading, if you were listening, okay? And a third time he was sleeping, and he heard a voice, and the voice said,
Samuel.
So he got up again. I know I heard that voice.
I know I heard that.
So he went over to Eli's room and knocked on the door, and he said, Eli, you called me?
Eli, you called me?
And then finally, scratch your head. I know what's happening.
I know what's happening.
God is calling me.
God is calling me.
So he said, Samuel,
Samuel,
go back to sleep.
go back to sleep.
But next time you hear the voice,
But next time you hear the voice,
say, Speak, Lord.
speak, Lord.
Your servant is listening.
Your servant is listening.
So Samuel went back to sleep. And sure enough, he was sleeping, he was snoring, and he heard a voice again which said,
Samuel.
so this time he got up and knelt down underneath, and he said, Speak, God,
Speak, God.
I am listening.
I am listening.
And God called him to serve God as a wonderful prophet. Boys and girls, you can get up now. Excellent job. You guys sleep very, very well. Boys and girls, this story is a story from the first reading of the Bible today. And we see God calling Samuel even though Samuel was little. And God speaks to all of you too. And you want to also listen to what God is saying to you. Now, if you're sleeping tonight and you hear a voice which calls your name, it's probably not God. It's probably like your older brother or something, you know? But we still have to listen and think, God, what do you want me to do? So say this with me. God, what do you want me to do? And we have to always pay attention. Sometimes, like if our mothers say, help with the dishes, we can say, I don't feel like, but we might say, my mom wants that, but I know that God is also speaking, and God wants me to do it. So say this with me. Sometimes, when my parents speak to me, I know it's them speaking, but I also know it's what God wants me to do. So boys and girls, we have to be very attentive to what God wants us to do. And when you think of what you want to be in your life, God may have a plan for you. So say this with me. God has a plan for my life. I will try to understand it and follow it, because I know if I do what God asks me, I will always be happy. Oh, you guys are great. Turn around and take a round of applause.